After what she said was 13 years of emotional and physical abuse, Leslie Bassinelli had finally found happiness thanks to a long-distance relationship with her childhood crush, Craig Hoover.
One of her first messages to me was, you better not have forgot who I was.
And Leslie's abusive ex, Tim McGough, wouldn't forget either. According to Assistant District Attorney Gene Ricardo, McGough was quietly seething over the relationship, a powder keg ready to explode.
That's the highest risk for any victim of domestic violence, is when they're leaving or when they have left. I don't think she realized how significant the hatred that he had for her.
That hatred reached its boiling point on a weekend when McGough was scheduled to have a visit with his sons. But the boys decided they would rather stay home to play with Craig's kids.
Craig had surprised Leslie with his two girls coming in for the weekend. You know, it's not unusual for kids wanting to be with other kids. And in this particular case, young Colin wanted to spend time with Leslie and Craig and his two daughters.
That evening, Leslie and Craig left the kids with her parents and drove to the store to buy them ice cream and rent a movie. Leslie put on a thick scarf to keep the winter cold at bay, but a cold snap would be the least of her concerns. Immediately after they pulled out of the driveway, Craig knew something was wrong.
A car had pulled out right behind us, and I had asked Leslie if she had noticed any headlights when we pulled out of her driveway, and she said no, and I'm like, well, you know, this car came out of nowhere, and the car had disappeared, and we pulled out, and then we traveled a couple more miles. There was a car on the side of the road, and we pull up, and I'm like, there's the same car on the side of the road. I said, you know, it's kind of strange, and she kind of brushed it off.
Was Craig being paranoid, or did Leslie have a fuming ex on her trail?
I didn't really know who it was, honestly, at this point.
Once they arrived at the supermarket, the car was gone, but now fear was creeping up. On their way home, the mysterious car reappears, and the hair on the back of Craig's neck is standing up.
I pulled up to the stop sign, and I looked over, and I'm like, there's that same car. I said, I think we're being followed.
And that mystery is now hot on their tail.
I had said, you know, it's time to call the police because they've been following us for 10 miles probably at this point.
Leslie and Craig are being chased by a madman. Suddenly they realize it's Tim McGough, and the cops can't help them.
I was the only one on duty in Moscow that night because we usually only work one person a shift because it's a small town. And I told him, I was like, I'll be there as soon as I can.
Once Craig's attempts to outrun McGough fail, Leslie calls 911 again.
Okay, where are they now?
Right now we're going to be passing by North Pocono Bagel.
All right.
Almost at 307.
Now passing North Pocono Bagel.
And they're like riding my ass, and anytime we try to, you know, turn around, they'll go by us, and then once we see us pull up somewhere else, then they'll pull out.
I was waiting for a bullet to come through the windshield. That was the thoughts that were going through my head. And it was scary at that point.
Just listen in this chilling 911 audio as McGough slams into their car at 60 miles an hour.
Are you alone or are you with somebody?
I'm with somebody. Now they just pulled it out.
Wait a minute. Oh, Jesus. They're attacking the call. 7. Leslie, what's going on?
It was just violent. He smashed into the back side of us and hit us so hard that it actually put us sideways in the road. And he was pushing on the passenger side of the car. And I just remember like looking out the side of my car like we're gonna die.
Okay, ma'am. Leslie, can you pull out?
I didn't even know I was knocked out. Yeah, she said I did, but I just looked at her like, are you all right?
Still on the phone with 911, Leslie climbs out of the tangled mass of metal.
Leslie, are you there? Leslie, I can't understand what's going on there. I know.
We're gonna kill us.
No.
They're gonna kill us.
Where are you?
They're gonna kill us.
This is the blood-chilling audio of that horrifying moment.
Are you still driving?
No, I'm not driving the car.
Yeah, I'm sorry. She's screaming. Leslie, where are you? Leslie. 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 Come on, Leslie. Leslie. Ma'am. What's up for it? Ma'am, where are you?
I could see him standing in the middle of the road, holding her ponytail and a knife in his hand. I just stopped in my tracks. I was too far away to do anything else, and I just looked at him and I said, Tim, you got 2 kids at home? And he just looked at me and he said, I'll kill both of you. And then he grabbed a hold of her ponytail and then he tried to slice her throat. And then she grabbed a hold of her throat and I thought that she was dying right there. He turned his attention to me and completely forgot about her. And I was fine with that, him following me. He had his knife in his hand, open, and he was chasing me around the car. I've joked that he was not gonna high-five me if he caught me.
Strangers driving by described the carnage in other frantic calls to 911.
To kill somebody and they got into a car crash. Come fast. This guy is chasing around this poor woman, trying to kill them. And me and my friend are only 17.
I really thought that this is where I was gonna die, that he was gonna catch me at this point.
Mercifully, Officer Matt Cianficchi arrives on the scene just in time.
When I pulled up, Tim McGough was chasing Craig Hoover up the on-ramp to the interstate.
McGough surrenders, but what about Leslie?
And I had gone over to Leslie to check on her, and she had a cut on her face from her lip all the way almost to her ear, and she was bleeding pretty good.
The knife attack was savage, but despite a deep and violent stab, a miraculous moment. Leslie's life was spared.
That was the most horrific moment of my life because I thought I was going to die.
Coming up, you'll never believe what saved her life.
I wasn't wearing that, I wouldn't be here today.
Hear her chilling story of terror in her first TV interview next.